Okay, folks, video number 3, the electromagnetic spectrum. Now make sure you absolutely know the order of these different parts of this continuous spectrum of electromagnetic radiation, starting with radio waves with the longest wavelengths, going through microwaves, infrared. As you go into visible light, notice that the color of light next to infrared is red, and then through the colors of the rainbow to violet, and after that comes ultraviolet, followed by X-rays and gamma rays. All of these waves merge into each other. We can see the part that is visible light. We can feel the part that is infrared because it's heat. So make sure you know the order. Notice that you can either learn the order in decreasing wavelength and increasing frequency, or it could be reversed. So just make sure you're really confident about the order of these waves, both ways round. Once you know the order, it's also really important that you know both the use and any dangers that these waves have. Okay, so things like radio waves are used for transmitting TV and radio signals. Microwaves are used to heat up food and to communicate with satellites and in mobile phones. Infrared is heat. Remember, we can take photos that have sensors that are sensitive to infrared radiation, and that's used for applications like looking for people trapped after an earthquake. We use visible light to see and take photos, and it can also be used to carry information, for example, in cable TV or internet services. As we get past visible light, we're in the higher energy end of the spectrum, and the ultraviolet, X-rays and gamma rays at these high frequencies carry more energy and are more likely to damage your cells. So you would have more to say about the dangers of ultraviolet, X-rays and gamma rays. Make sure you've learned some specific facts for each of the parts of the spectrum. A few of the types of electromagnetic wave have very specific properties. So for example, radio waves, when they're produced, can be used to carry messages. And the important fact about radio waves is that when they're absorbed by an aerial on a receiver, that they cause an alternating current to be produced. And that is decoded as the sound waves which you hear when you tune in on an analog radio. Waves can be sent along cables by a process called total internal reflection, which you can see on this diagram here. And the light is entering at such an angle so that it bounces around inside. So this is how broadband internet and cable TV signals are sent, piggybacking on visible light, for example. Remember, microwaves are used to cook food, and they can be used to cook food because they are strongly absorbed by particularly water molecules inside food, which vibrate more as they absorb microwaves, and that equates to them getting hotter because they have more kinetic energy. Microwaves are also useful for sending messages into space. Okay, microwaves can pass through our atmosphere to satellites, whereas radio wave frequencies tend not to be able to pass out of our atmosphere.